Slowly we make our way to progress. Slowly we learn to use the instruments of science for good. Slowly we give up the habits of yesteryear. Slowly we give up prejudice. But we do progress. The story told here is a story of progress and setback, a story of great accomplishment against great odds. The hero of the story is education. Education that had to take root in difficult surroundings, in a region which had suffered economic and spiritual maladjustment, years of neglect, years of poverty, a region in which today education is conquering ignorance, illiteracy, and prejudice. In the cities, education has benefited from urban standards, but in these sparsely populated rural communities, education in general and Negro education specifically suffered. In the South, even with the best of intentions, it was difficult to find enough money for the Negro schoolhouses which had to be built. The South was poor. Its schools were poor. Education was a dream that could be realized by a will to learn and a will to succeed. This will to learn was not just mental exercise. It was not just wishing. It was often a walk to school over miles of stony paths, a walk to school without shoes, and in rain or cold or heat. The children who attended the earliest schools were often taught by teachers just a few steps ahead of them. These early teachers were truly the pioneers who transmitted the will to learn. But even the will to learn had to come into contact with reality, day-by-day reality. There was so little time to study. Even the youngest had to help with the work of the family. In the schools, too, there were pressing problems. Drink 4 glasses of milk a day. Yes, but when? Hygiene, diet, citizenship. Sure, but how? Spelling, arithmetic. Sure, but when? Early in the development of Negro education came the jeans teachers. They pioneered in integrating the community and the schoolhouse. Theirs was the problem not only of teaching, but also of repairing and rebuilding the old schoolhouses. They enlisted the aid of the community, and by so doing spread knowledge beyond the 4 walls of the rural school building. As economic conditions have improved and the will to learn has grown, Southern states, along with educational foundations, have helped to improve these schools. Slowly, the overcrowded rural schools are disappearing. In their place have come these modern schools, and with them better teachers and higher standards. These new schools, to many the goal, to many only a stepping stone, have opened new vistas in education. The pupils have learned to use their minds and their hands. They have learned to coordinate skills they hardly knew before. Awkward little hands tingle with the pride of achievement. Ingenuity plus knowledge plus a few nails. That is the beginning of education. They are learning other things, too. They are learning about the world around them and the many worlds far away. With the health of the child is the power of the nation. They're learning about health in a practical way, dramatizing it so that doctor and nurse will no longer be strangers to be feared. These new rural schools represented progress, but they were still inadequate in comparison with a modern urban school. Many educators felt that a solution was to be found in consolidating several rural schools into one, whose size would make it practical to provide the best facilities. One such school is Bruton Heights in Williamsburg, Virginia. Here, with funds provided by state and private sources, a consolidated rural Negro school has become a reality. It is a dream come true. It is a far cry from the barefoot trek toward the old ramshackle schoolhouse to this. Here, the will to learn receives stimulus in large, cheerful surroundings conducive to study, conducive to looking forward. Here is a vast laboratory to prepare the young students to meet the practical problems of the community in which they live. Native curiosity is encouraged, and growing initiative and independence are developed. These pupils soon want to know why and when and how. The magic of chemistry becomes real to these boys as they test the soil of their farms. Crop rotation, soil erosion, these are of immediate significance. A good farmer is a scientific farmer. The drill is magic too. Machines to do the work of 10 men. Machines that do not become tired. Machines that do not forget. To these boys from poor farms with almost primitive tools, this school reveals a new world. Here are some of the implements made in the foundry. Tools forged by the students themselves. Tools they can use on their own farms. The anvil can be an important part of the educational system. For the boys, school is practical. For the girls, it is equally practical. Domestic science is more than a play subject. It is a key to a higher standard of living, a step up the ladder to a better way of life. Here is nutrition and health. Here is economy and more food. Shortcuts that save labor, ways to preserve food. Lessons in nutrition and economics mean canned vegetables and strawberries in January, balanced diets and no waste. Health can be planned, and some of its ingredients preserved in a glass jar. The sewing machine may be an everyday experience to thousands and thousands of American girls, but to many of these children, it is something wonderfully new and wonderfully clever. Needlework means clothes. It may even mean a party dress or mending little brother's overalls. This home, like the ramshackle schoolhouse, is disappearing as the lessons of school find expression in daily living. Every lesson in domestic science has a real application here. Every hint for good homemaking can be adapted. These homes of yesterday are being slowly transformed into the American homes of tomorrow. There is so much to do. There is so much to learn. In school, the food tastes good. It tastes even better when they realize they themselves have prepared it. Good food deserves good surroundings, good homes. In the cafeteria, the other students enjoy a luncheon cooked by the domestic science classes. From such schools, many pupils will return to their homes equipped with a knowledge which will increase their usefulness to their communities. Others, having learned the facility of their hands, will go out to become the skilled workers in our industrial world. And still others will go forward to higher education, higher responsibilities to their race and their nation. But now it is the springtime in their lives. School is over. It's time for the old swimming hole. The spirit of Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer is a good old American tradition. It belongs to all of America's boyhood. As enrollment of the Negro in the university becomes more and more a part of the American scene, we can look forward to a future when many more names will adorn the honor roll, now listing George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, Marion Anderson, and others who have contributed to make America richer and more enlightened. There is great need today for trained engineers, scientists, doctors, and others who can help to rebuild. These American universities are training students to contribute their share in this rebuilding. As science and learning triumph over prejudice and superstition, the surgeon and his brothers and sisters in science become important in the scheme of America and the world. The sad statistics of the Negro death rate finds an answer in the thousands of these young girls who are training to become the career nurses of tomorrow. Much has been accomplished, but we are still a long way from the goal. A goal of education that even today, in many places, must fight its way up from the old ramshackle school. In 1865, only 1 Negro out of 20 could read. Today, 9 out of 10 can read. As late as 1920, only 3 in 1,000 attended high school. Today, the number has jumped to nearly 10 times that figure. Progress? Yes. Room for more progress? Decidedly. Only in a free world is there a way up. Only by crushing the forces of reaction can there be progress. Today, fighting side by side with the other 9/10 of our nation, these Americans are proving their resourcefulness, their heroism, and their devotion to their country. They are earning a share in the future of these United States.